Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 6 of the Toronto International Film Festival. My name is Jake Howell, and I'm one of the festival programming associates here at TIFF, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this very special screening of Uncut Gems, directed by Josh and Benny Safdie. To begin, we would like to acknowledge that this screening is taking place on the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and the Huron-Wendat. We are grateful for the opportunity to work in this community. A reminder that this film is eligible for the Grolsch People's Choice Award, so to participate, simply go online to tiff.net/vote and cast your ballot there. Finally, the festival would like to thank A24 for providing us with this film. And without any further ado, would you please give a warm Toronto welcome to the directors of Uncut Gems, Josh and Benny Safdie.
Wow. Hello, thank you. Good morning.
To begin with, we would like to acknowledge that tonight's event is taking place.
Sorry. But no, to begin with, seriously, I do think it is appropriate to start with a quote from the physicist Richard Feynman. The world is a dynamic mess of jiggling things if you look at it right.
I have to follow a physicist with another great 20th century Jew. Last week, my tie caught on fire. Some guy tried to put it out with an axe. Rodney Dangerfield. I'm gonna try to, here, I'll just show it to you guys so it's easier that way. So, can you guys, I'll zoom in a little bit for you guys. So, this guy right here, his name is Howard, coincidentally, and our dad worked for him in the Diamond District when we were kids, and that's Benny. And this photo was dated June 3rd, 2009, and we had just finished the first draft of this movie then. Shitting out this draft. It was not a good draft, but we spent the next 10 years really working hard and trying to make this film. Went out to Adam Sandler in 2012. He said no. And rightfully so. Who the hell were we at the time? We had just made a small film called Daddy Longlegs, and we didn't. 5 people, thank you very much. And that was supposed to be our follow-up, and instead we ended up on a long journey.
Yeah, there was so 10 years go by, and we're making movies, and each one is its own event. But at the same time, it feels like all we're doing is learning, and each one is an educational detour to get to this movie.
So there would be no Uncut Gems without Lenny Cook, the documentary. No Uncut Gems without heaven knows what. The girl we met, which we played at Toronto. Who we met the lead of that film doing research for the Diamond District. She was working there temporarily, and then Good Time came from heaven knows what, and we wouldn't have known how to have done genre that we attacked in this film if it wasn't for Good Time. So thank you to everybody who was a part of those films. Thank you to A24. Thank you to Toronto Film Festival, and thank you to you guys for being here in the morning to watch this movie. It's a great cup of coffee. I'm sure you've maybe heard that by now. It's a slightly adrenalized movie, but it's fun too. We have a lot of fun watching it. We all quote it. We have a little board we try to knock off.
It's like a soundboard.
Yeah. The whole cast will be back afterwards for a conversation. So, yeah. Everybody but Kevin Garnett. Kevin had to go back to California, so we don't have him, which is your loss. I'm sorry about that. He's an incredible person. I'll try to relay some stories. All you need to know is that he called me coach once. And right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. It's a wild ride, so hope you like it.
Thank you, everybody. Oh, wow, look at that. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. All right, just keep it up for 10 more years, please. Maybe it'll, thank you so much. Thank you again to Toronto and to the Film Festival, to Michael and A24 for believing in this movie for basically a half a decade, which is crazy to think about. We have, like I said before, we have a lot of the cast here with us, and I'm gonna introduce them. First, I'm gonna introduce someone who is very fresh in your mind, who I'm sure will give you shivers, but an incredible, incredible first-time actor, Keith Williams Richards. Come on out, Keith. I don't even know if he can hear me. There he is. Keith. Yeah. One incredible actor. I've loved him forever. There's actually a slight nod to the film he made with Oliver Stone. He says it. He goes, "You're dead, fucker." Talk radio. The great Eric Bogosian, please. Yeah. Yes. My dad, our dad, when he read the first version of the script, he was reading and he tried talking to me and Benny. We don't listen to him a lot. And then he went up to Ronnie, who we wrote the film with, and we named this character. And he was trying to lobby to get it changed for personal reasons. And he looked at Ronnie and he goes, "It's a good script, but why Gooey? Why Gooey?" So Judd Hirsch, who played Gooey. I have. Yes, Judd. Yes. Judd, we met with Judd on the film in 2011, and I said the other day, I was like, I don't remember what part it was. I think it was just an excuse to meet Judd Hirsch.
We're very obsessed with Taxi.
Yeah, well, one of the greatest adult television shows, Taxi, and incredible movies. Yeah, it was adult themed. You watch it as a kid, you're like, that's.
None of us felt adult doing that.
Okay. The next actress who was brought so much to this role, and she really she just is a strong presence, an icon. Idina Menzel. Yes. Yeah. Yes, Idina, thank you. I think we're all kind of with her when she lovingly says, "You're the most annoying person I've ever met in my entire life." The next performer is somebody who we learned a lot from while we were working with him, and he brought a lot out of, he taught, he doesn't even realize he was teaching Kevin Garnett, who's not with us, unfortunately, but he taught us all every day, and is an incredible performer, very serious actor, LaKeith Stanfield. Yes, sir. Yeah. And you guys had just met her. I saw her stardom around 2013, 2014 on Vine, weirdly. But I had weird friends in common, and I was just happy to kind of put her stardom on screen. And she has lungs like, obviously, you guys have never seen before. Julia Fox, the great Julia Fox. And yeah, Julia and I read the script together in LA in 2014, and she was like, are you eavesdropping on my life? And I said, no, I wasn't. And the last, but definitely not least, someone we grew up with, his records meant everything to us. All the movies were so important, all of them. And, this movie, if it was anything, it was getting to, we got to collaborate with an incredible artist, an amazingly earnest person too, but more than that, we got to become friends with this person, which means more to us than anything. Adam Sandler. Yes, Sandman. Yes, very much deserved for everybody here.
Can't stand tall enough.
And I just wanted to point out we have a few other collaborators with us here. Eli Bush, a producer who, with his partner, really beat us up on the script and everything.
Hey, Eli.
Sebastian Bear McClard, one of our closest friends, who also was going to Vegas with me, and
I'll stay out here.
and one of our closest friends who we wrote the movie with and edited the movie with, and he's just gonna, probably just he's under the light over there. Ronald Bronstein, who's the best. So anyway, thank you everybody. So felt like I had to give that. That's it.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah, that's it.
I want to start, speaking of Ronald Bronstein, I want to start kind of with the writing process. The film feels so free-flowing. And this is, sort of for all of you, was there improvisation in there? Was there writing on set? Were the three of you writing on set? Were the actors feeding off each other? Anybody feel free to jump in.
I mean, I'll just start it off. I mean, we spent basically a decade writing this, and we were writing it on set, new pages here and there, but it was never set in stone. It's really just the script is, you have it and it's there, and we spent you guys can read it and you'll see how similar it is to the movie. It's almost sometimes. A lot of times you're reading 25 pages word for word, and it's a testament to all the actors on here to be able to say so much yet feel so free. But we encourage everybody, as always, to be themselves and feel free to move.
Because the whole, whenever we wanted to have the scenes performed, we wanted to feel alive. And if it didn't feel alive, something had to be done to kind of shake it. And we just wanted to kind of create an environment where everybody could give their opinion and give their thoughts on a scene to bring themselves to it and just make it the connection there. So hopefully it felt like a safe place for everybody to just bring it. So, yes.
Anybody here want to talk about that?
Yeah, I thought if it was that free and I really wanted to do something and I was doing that, and I said, not that.
This is what I
Not
did.
that. Not like there was no direction. There was some.
Anybody else? Steve's got a mic down there.
There's a mic down there.
What just happened with Judd? I didn't understand any of that.
Oh, all right. Yeah, no, you guys gave us an amazing script, and then also, like LaKeith said in an interview earlier, it was we did the script, we did everything, then all of a sudden you would say, see what else happens, and then we would go off of that and continue rolling, and just there was just stuff that happened on the set. That last scene with Eric, that just happened, right? Yeah, just. Yeah, that was interesting.
I was.
We knew he was gonna get shot.
It was a sound scene.
And it was supposed to take place in sound only.
Just
and we said, let's
sound.
shoot it. Let's shoot it, and that way it'll increase the stakes. And
Yeah, it would be like under the credits or something, I guess, or something. But so we find out afterwards, they're telling Keith, I don't know, kick his ass or something, and they're telling me, fight back. But I don't think the two of us knew that that's what was going to happen going in. And as I smashed the handgun back into his face, there was this look in his eyes that I've only seen in movies, actually. And then I was like, okay, what's going to happen now? Well, let's just see. Maybe he'll kill me or something. I don't know. And then it'll be immortalized. And he started to bleed where the gun had hit him. And I was like, wow, this is getting real. I got thrown over one of those display showcases. And the first AD is cowering behind. And as I'm over it, I don't even know if that's in the movie or not, but I can see her eyes, and I can see the look of fear in her eyes. And I'm going, this is getting really real. And this is either really going to look bad or it's going to look good. And I guess
she looked back at me saying, do I cut it? Do we cut? And I said, don't you dare cut.
Yeah, don't cut. Let's keep going. I mean, let's see what happens. Like you were saying, let's find out. And we found out.
And then we had.
I was in traction for 2 weeks, but other than that.
Yeah, there's a wide shot that we didn't use where I just see Eric, I just see you, Keith throws you full force back into the showcase, and look, and you had no padding on, and you just took it. Anyway, so that happened, and then we had to, come up with a new shot list in about 20 minutes to cover the scene because something like that happens. And that, again, it happened in a Steadicam shot, and it really was the two of them. And the ramping up of the intensity of Arno, all of a sudden realizing, like, what did I get myself involved with? So many times in life, you look around and be like, how did I get myself in this situation? And in that moment, Arno realized, like, the backstory that we had between them is that their characters met at an NA meeting, and he told him, he's like, oh, what do you do? He's like, oh, I loan money. I have an Uber business, and the Arno character, and then he's like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, sometimes I loan some money out. And he's like, oh,
I
if you
didn't
ever
know
need help
any
with
of that stuff.
We talked about it. Come on.
This is a little late in the day.
We had a long talk about it in your house. Come on.
I love when we were, because I'm watching that scene over and over and over again. I love it, Keith, when you go to grab him, you remember what the stunt guy said. It's like, don't ever grab the neck. You got to just grab the collar of the shirt.
And that's how we knew it was real. Yeah,
he grabs the collar. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a next level thing that's going on right now.
I think the brothers really, they really cherish like authenticity, and that's why a lot of the people are street casted, and they're kind of just playing versions of themselves, and I really love that you guys gave us the freedom to also bring aspects of ourselves into the characters. And sometimes, even though it was scripted and we followed the script and the general direction, they also really encouraged us to do our own thing. And the club scene kind of just like where we're fighting outside kind of just like evolved and took on a life of its own. And I remember I was like jumping in front of the taxi, and you guys were like signaling me like, be careful, be careful. And I was like, I got this. Like, you've done this before. My husband was like, I've seen that a few times. He's tried to drive away, and I was like, not today.
I remember editing out a couple of my
it was just incredible. They did not restrict us at all, and it was amazing. Yeah, it was great. Yeah. Does anyone else?
Dina, LaKeith, you guys want to say anything about that?
Thank you so much for watching. As you know, we couldn't do it without you. This was a quite unique experience. Nothing like working with the Safdies, nothing like working with Adam, nothing like working with anyone up here. Although some people here I haven't really had a chance to work with, but it was an amazing experience, and I'm so happy with the film, and I'm glad we were able to share it with you guys. Thanks.
We don't have too much time, so I'm going to open up to questions. I'll start here.
First of all, congratulations. Thank you for shooting on film, by the way, on 35. Good time, and this, I mean, you're dealing with 35 millimeter, but also using score as a leading character. And kind of a two-part question with score, since it is such an important part of the movie, is any of that aspect on set to kind of get that motion going? And for you, Adam, and the cast, working on film, I mean, a lot of movies are shot digitally nowadays. For you to kind of shoot on film, did that, I don't know, bring you back to how you shot film when you first started?
So the question was, there were two questions. One was about score, and was any of that on set to kind of get the energy together? And the second was for the cast, was it different for you acting on film from recent digital movies you may have made?
Sam, you start with the film if you want.
Well, the score question's cool. You guys figured. Did you know what was the score was going to be?
Yeah, I knew that there was a bunch of. I have a playlist of music that was kind of our guiding light. It was for very early on. It was new age music was kind of something we were eyeing and thinking about, just because of the mysticism and the sense of kind of solution that exists in new age music, and how ineffable that is to listen to something, and how it's somehow medicinal. So that was a part of it, and someone like Vangelis. No, we never played it on set. No. We did a little bit when a camera test. We played some of that stuff, but
the only thing that we can anybody hear? The only music that we did have was the music that you would come in blasting. which was
Yeah,
amazing because it set the tone. Oh, Howard's here. And it did change scene to scene, emotion to emotion, so that was
Right.
pretty amazing.
What was some of that music?
That he would play walking on a set. It changed according to the mood of the
yes.
scene.
Yeah, 90s rap. I kind of stopped at around 94. I stopped listening to music, but so I walk in and play songs that I know. But oh, I played Defying Gravity. Yeah. I did that to you in the car. Remember? That's my kids. My kids sing it all the time, and I love it. And so. Did you sing something from Rent too when we were in the car?
Yeah, I have a video of you guys singing Rent. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like to sing, and but not quite as good as you. But the shooting on film, that was, listen, we all just gave ourselves to these guys. So when you change a mag, when it takes a little more time to shoot with film, we just sat and waited, and these guys just guided the show. We just sat there, and we were comfortable at every move they made, and shooting on film, and the look of this movie.
No playback.
Oh, no playback. You never knew what we were shooting. We never knew what angle was happening. They put cameras in places that you didn't know were there. I didn't know if we were shooting a master or a close-up, because they use long lenses all the time. And I would say, like, are we going to do a close-up on that? Like, oh, that was your close-up. And then the camera was way over there. Like, that was my close-up? Okay, all right. Anyways, it was, yeah.
Yeah, Darius Kanji he really pushed us on this movie. So, yeah.
We have time for only one more. I'm going to go there. Yeah.
Falcon.
So the question was, how did you get Kevin Garnett in the movie?
It's one of those, it's like new age music. You just kind of listen to it and be like, oh, the solution's gonna come. And yeah, we spoke to Kevin and
he had such a fire and a passion about everything, just life, the way he told stories. It was unbelievable.
But the question is, how did we get
I know,
him?
but I'm getting there. So we talked to different people, but there was a very specific set of things that had to align for it to be the right player, and it happened to also be Kevin Garnett.
With someone like Kevin, he is kind of a god in many ways. So there's no normal way of getting someone like that in a movie. You kind of just have to vibe. You know what I mean? And if you didn't vibe with him on the phone call, that wasn't going to happen. It's as simple as that. There was no money situation. You know what I mean? It wasn't. It was all vibe, and we vibed with him from the first second we spoke, and then we didn't want to get off the phone with him, and that's how we knew he was the right person for the role. And then figuring out, him coming, and he was really generous with his schedule. He came at a lot of random times throughout the shoot, and every time he came, it was, an incredible story about the Players Association in the NBA, or he's an incredible storyteller. He told a story about Ronnie Fields, who he grew up with, that was filled with so much nuance and detail that I said to him, I was like, dude, man, that's one of the greatest stories I've ever heard, and I felt like I just watched it in my mind. And he's amazing. He's a really amazing person. So I'm sorry he's not here. He had to go back to LA. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you,
I'm sorry
guys.
we had to round up, but I want to thank these guys.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.